Oh, hi guys. How you guys doing? Good to see everyone. That's better. My hair's a mess, so I'll wear a Mets cap. How you guys doing? This is Robert, RJL Network. Good to see everybody here that's going to join me for a little bit of a chat tonight as we go ahead and discuss pretty much whatever you guys want. It's good to see everyone. Let's see who's joined me already. Brian B, Jeremy Brooks, and no Brian B. The 1972 season does start on a Monday. It does start on a Monday, but not this Monday. Okay, we're talking Monday, January 1. Give me a break. 2016 was exhausting. Good to see you, Tracy Meehan. You like the hat. Well, how could you not like the hat? It's a Mets cap. Anything with the Mets is always usually pretty good. Ron McGrath, good to see you there too. So this is just a friendly chat, a state of the network, state of the network, just to discuss the end of the season. The end of the season we just finished. Talk about 2016. Talk about upcoming 1972 for next year, or where Brian B wishes that I started this Monday. Clee baseball fan. It's a good year. Um, you know, uh, it's 2016 was exhausting. That I'll tell you something about 2016, guys. I'll tell you something. When that season was chosen, I was actually surprised you guys actually started with 26 with got the win for 2016. I mean the other seasons that were available was 1965, 1971, and 2008. Those are the other seasons that were available uh, in the after that selection show. And I thought 1971 was a shoe-in, but I really didn't think there would be enough votes for 2016. And I'll be honest, the 2016 season was kind of a downer for me because the Mets, lost the wild card, and you know, it was a difficult season, and I didn't think I'll be honest, I didn't think 2016 was going to be that much fun to play, and I was so wrong. 2016 was a blast. Lots of ninth inning magic, lots of shutouts, lots of player movement. Lots of fringe players. I mean, the 2016 season had like 24 pages. No, had I think it had 24 pages of fringe players that I had to print out for players that did not you know that did not have that didn't make moves. Okay, I just did the 1972 season. 1972, believe it or not, is ready to go. I've already got the fringe players printed. Um, I already have what is it here? FastScore 1972 already set and ready to go. I already got the schedule block already set up. Logos are done. Ballparks are done. I could start 1972 Monday if I wanted to, but I need the break. Good to see you there, Mr. Church. So, I didn't think it would be that much fun, and I was so wrong. 2016 was a blast. Um, 2016 was a blast, and I hope we do more contemporary seasons. I would love to do 2015. I would love to do 2022 because the Mets had a very good year. 2022 would be fun to play. Uh, sooner or later we're gonna get to them. If I do 2 seasons a year, the rest of my living days, sooner or later we're gonna get to them. But and of course we're always adding a new season, so we're gonna have more contemporary seasons in the future on the network. But 2016 was a blast. I look forward to another one. Um, as far as 1972. 1972 is going to be a lot of fun. The last year of Roberto Clemente's last year. Some very young players in that. Hank Aaron, of course, in his prime. Tom Seaver in his prime. An aging Bob Gibson. Reggie Jackson just coming into his own for Oakland. The Athletics, heck, ahead of a team. I'll tell you, I looked at the Oakland Athletics for 1972. That is one powerful team. They got a heck of a pitching rotation. All right, they're going to be a very tough out. They're going to be a very tough out if they get to the postseason. I'm pretty sure FastScore will get there to the postseason. I want to pitch. We're not thinking what it do. 1986, of course. 1986 would be my choice because of the Mets, and of course Brian B says I should do all 162 Mets games. Yeah, I may be thinking of doing a 1986 Mets replay, but using not just inside pitch because I have the other game engines as well. I'm thinking of a multi-engine 1986 Mets replay. Doing every game of that season and, of course, with postseason playoffs, but I would, and using my postseason format. But that's, I love playing all the teams. Playing all the teams, not just mine, is a blast because I get to see players that I wouldn't see. So, like if I play just 1986 Mets, I won't see 86 California or 86 Boston or 86 Yankees. And there's some players on those teams that I happen to watch too during that time. I really like playing a multi-team season. This format that I use, one game per 3 days of baseball. A regular season takes about 2.5 months to play because it really is all about the postseason. The postseason games is where inside pitch really shines. I create my own lineups and get the rosters, and I prefer multi-team replays. They're a lot more. I think they're a lot more fun. Plus, you guys. You guys some people want to see the Red Sox. Some people want to see the Reds, the Yankees, the Royals, the Blue Jays, the Athletics, the Cubs, the Dodgers. You guys want to see that. So, you want to go ahead and see that, and that's fine too. And yes, Tracy, the A's in 72 were awesome. Jackson, Hunter, Holtzman, Vita Blue, Campaneris. Yeah, they were the 72 Athletics. If that team doesn't make it to the World Series in my postseason format, I will be shocked. I will be shocked if they don't. That team was massively good. Okay, a heck of a rotation, a heck of a bullpen, and a heck of a lineup. But hey, Brian, you said you did a 1972 Reds replay, and Pittsburgh beat them in Oakland. That's a thing. I don't. But then again, of course, Brian B hates FastScore because FastScore always seems to underachieve his Reds. Well, it's possible. Reggie Jackson was injured in 72 playoffs, not available. Okay, well, like I said, if he's not available to play, then he's not going to play. But the A's but most of the A's pitching is still there. So, like I said, I use Action PC Baseball to get the rosters for that day that I'm about to play. And I have Action PC Baseball simulate the season along with me. So every season that I've done an inside pitch, Action PC Baseball has also simulated a season with me. But I don't use their stats. I just use it to get me to the current day so I can get the correct rosters for the baseball team that we're about to play. So, well, if Jackson was injured in the 72 AL, now there's a difference there. There's a difference, though, there, Brian. If Reggie Jackson was injured in the playoffs, he may still be available throughout my postseason because if I don't care if they were like, for instance, remember 1961? Okay, 1961. All right, was 1961. All right. Mickey Mantle wasn't available for the the remaining couple of weeks because of the injury he received. It was a staph infection, something like that, and he was still available for the World Series in 1961. So I used him. If Reggie Jackson was injured during the postseason, but if he's considered active when I get to the postseason in 1972, he'll be on the teams. So what happened to them in the postseason to me is immaterial. Reggie Jackson probably will be on the team. It probably will be on the team. So we'll see what happens when we get there. That's a long way to go. First, he's got to get there. All right, and we're talking. Here we are. We're in November. We're in November of of this year, and the World Series of 1972 probably won't be played until late April. I think we can wait. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. But we'll see what happens. Reggie Jackson may be available. We shall see. I don't know. If they were injured in the postseason, it's one thing. I only care if they were injured during the regular season. But we'll see what happens. We'll see. We got time. I'm not worried about it right now. But it's good to see everybody here. 2016, lots of ninth inning magic. The Dodgers. I didn't think the Dodgers would win this. I really thought the Boston Red Sox was going to be the team to beat in that World Series. I thought the Red Sox dominated. I thought the Red Sox had the better. I thought the Red Sox were the dominant team in the postseason. I'm shocked the Dodgers beat them 4-2. Thanks to ninth inning magic. Really, the Red Sox should have won that series, but the Red Sox bullpen blew up in games 1 and 2, and that's what happened. And that's it. The Red Sox probably should. If I was to replay that series, the Red Sox would probably win it. But that's what goes here. And let's see. You're going to play all 162 of the games that were played? No. We're starting April 15th. We're starting on April 15th, 1972, for the 1972 season. We go from there, and it's still one game per 3 days of baseball. That's the way it's always been. So we'll probably have about 60 regular season games. And, since it's a two-division, since it's back to the 2-division alignment, top 3 teams in each division will make the postseason, must have winning records. Number 6 will play number 5 and a 1. The winner there will play the 4 and a 1. The winner there plays number 1, and 2 and 3 will play in a division series. And we go from there. And I know 1972, and of course, there were best of 5 championship series. We're sticking with best of 7. And it will be a 4-man pitching rotation because they were using the 4-man pitching rotation in 1972, although some teams did use a 3-man pitching rotation. So, have any gaming plans during the break? Yes, we do. There will be some. I do intend to stream some stuff, maybe some Marvel Champions. I do have Let's Play Tennis from my play games. I want to do some of that. I want to get some stuff on the board. I just don't want to just do nothing for 2 months. That get stagnant. I do want to do some stuff here. I got Lord of the Rings, also the card game. I rebought that. I got my second season set from Play out of the storage. So I was looking at that because I see that Steve at After Further Review with Steve Tower is having a lot of fun with it. So I thought maybe I'd give it a shot again. Play like half of it as second season express, and then the second half the main game. I don't know. I just don't want no 3-hour streams. That's why I stopped the golf game, because golf took 3 hours to do, and I thought that was ridiculous. So that's why I stopped the golf game, because it just took 3 hours to stream, and I just didn't think I just didn't think it was good for it. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Good to see you, Bernard Strom and Big Clue. Yes, the state of the RJL Network is strong, as Big Clue says. Say for instance, the Cardinals making it, you feel like we'd use a 3-man with Gibson games 1, 4, and 7. Like I said, I mean, that's one of the reasons why the 1961 season, the postseason for 61 didn't go the way it probably would have, because I was using a 4-man pitching rotation in 61. That's my fault. It should have been a 3-man rotation, but no, I'm not going to replay the 61 postseason. Okay, I'm not going to replay it, but it should have been a 3-man rotation for every team. It should not have been a 4. And I found out that, yeah, Tracy, the state of the RJL Network is strong. Good. So, when we get there, we'll decide what I want to do. But I know 1969 and earlier they were using 3-man rotations. I did look at 1970, and in 1970 they actually did use a 4-man rotation from that. So I don't know. 1972, we'll see what we have there. Good to see Doug Hunt. And let's see. Then 1972 was the Texas' first season at Arlington. Yes, it was. 1972 was Texas's first season at Arlington Stadium. Absolutely. Just becoming from the Washington Senators to become the Texas Rangers in 1972. That is right. Where's the Oscar for the City's voice? So, I mean, like I said, 1972 is going to be a blast. I've already looked at the cards. I've already got the fringe players printed out. They're already with the teams. I said, if I tell you, if I wanted to start 1972 Monday, I could, but I will start it on Monday, but not this Monday, Brian. Not this month. Not this Monday. You'll get it to see January 1, 2024. Demo game for 1972. I haven't decided yet if I want to do it Saturday, December 23rd, or Sunday, December 24th, which is Christmas Eve. I don't know. If I'm working on Saturday, December 23rd, because I like doing the demo games in the early morning, so I have all that time, because the demo games take about 2 hours to do, because the games are slow and steady, So I mean, the demo game is designed for people that want to go ahead and see how the system works, slowly, But in a way, it's almost like a preseason game. It's almost like in a way you could call the demo game also a preseason game if you want, before starting the actual opening day matchup, which I think we got a good one. We got the Phillies and the Cubs, April 15th, 1972, Steve Carlton against Fergie Jenkins. I don't think anyone has a problem with me starting the season off with 2 Hall of Fame pitchers. I don't think you guys will have an issue with that. I've been looking through the schedule to see which games I want to get, what pitcher matchups I want to try to get. But remember early in the season, I try to get every baseball team shown at least twice. Some will get shown more than that, so I can fill in the gaps. And my first schedule block does have that all set up. Yeah, I hope Baseball Demos is okay. I guess he's not been feeling well lately. So I hope he's all right. I don't know if he's going to do a game tomorrow. I don't know if he did. I have to ask him. I haven't asked him. I haven't texted him and found out what he does. So, we'll have to. So hopefully he has something. I'd love to see something, but he hasn't done. No, he's not taking a break. I think he got sick. I mean, he wasn't feeling well, I think. So, I don't think he's taking a break. I don't think he wants to take a break. He hasn't finished his playoffs yet. He's still in the middle of the 1975 postseason and the 1993 postseason. So, I haven't heard. I don't think he's feeling well. So, and obviously, I don't know if it was throat, whatever it is, he can't talk. So, I'm hoping he's all right, because we need him. I need David Baseball Demos. He is the Jekyll, I'm the Hyde. So he's Dr. Jekyll, I'm the Hyde. He's the calm, cool, and collected one. I'm the crazy one. So I need him, because he kind of like offsets me. It really is good to have him. Plus, since he loves inside pitch as much as I do. So I think, I think, he can get, hopefully he's all right. But like I said, I haven't haven't heard much from him at all this week. I don't think he's done anything. So I hope, hope he's all right. And I really should text him and see what's going on, because he hasn't said anything. He hasn't really said anything. So, but yeah. So what do you guys like about 2016? 2016 was a lot more fun than I thought it would be. I thought, it was a contemporary season, maybe too contemporary, maybe a little bit only. 2016 was only 7 years ago, but it was a lot of fun. I thought 2016 was a blast. I didn't think I'd have a lot of fun with it, and I did. I look forward to doing maybe 2015 with the Mets the year before. 2022. I'm surprised that 2022 got more votes than 1956. But I guess the reason why because not many people were around from 1956. I mean, I was born in 69. I'm 54. So if you were born in 1959, you'd be 64, and if you were born in 1949, you would be 74. So you know, I'm a little surprised. I mean, I agree. I mean, 1956 would be great. I mean, Jackie Robinson, the Brooklyn Dodgers, the Cincinnati Red Legs, not just Reds, because they were known as the Red Legs because of the communist thing back then. The New York Giants playing in Ebbets, playing at Polo Grounds, and the Brooklyn Dodgers at Ebbets Field. I mean, you know, 1956 would be a blast. It would have been a blast. A lot of young players. Pee Wee Reese. I mean, 56 would have been great. I would have no problem with 56. Like I said, guys, I have no problem with you guys voting for the season that I'm going to do next, because I don't care which season I do next. I have every one of them. Yes, a very young Koufax at 56. I don't care which season I do. Okay. But I did want to create a little bit of randomness to the seasons with the dice and the season selection show. And I may be tweaking that in the next, for the next one. Okay. I may be tweaking it to give some of the seasons that don't get many dice maybe a little better chance to get in there. But I figure that the season with the most votes should have the best chance of getting in. And it does. I may do a tweak before the next season selection show, and I'll tell you what I may be doing about it. So, D. Scott Howard, the Goat Whisperer, joins us here. I mean, every season is good with Inside Pitch, and and he is working on 1993 and 93 and 96 should be coming out this month, is what he told me. So for those of you that want to, that 1993 is a season that Dave at Baseball Demos desperately wanted, and he was a little bummed when Chris did 94 and 97 first. But Chris said 93 and 96 should be out this month. So for anyone who wants to play the 1993 and the 1996 season, they should be out this month, which means you can have a complete chronology of baseball, of Inside Pitch, from 1956 all the way to 2000, which is pretty good. And then next year he says he'll do 2001 to 2006 to finish the holes in the 2000 season. And then I told him, okay, Chris. Chris, after you get 01 to 06 done, I don't care which season you do after that. Although I did mention to him he may want to complete the 50s because he's starting in 1956. Maybe he wants to go back to 1950 or 1951 and move your way back and maybe do the 50s, finish off the 50s. But I didn't tell him he had to do that. I told him whatever you want to do after you get those holes filled is best. You know what I mean? The strike was 94, but in 1994 was the strike. But 1995, the strike, there were actually games that were missed. There were only 144 games played in 1995. So, there were only 144 games played in 1995 because they started that season late too. 1995 and 1972 both started late. They both started late in 1995 and 72. And, of course, he does have the 95 season. So be on the lookout for 93 and 96. Those are his next two seasons that we'll do. And then, of course, he will do 2023 next year. And he'll probably throw in a historical season, probably. I mentioned to him if he's going to do 2023, maybe he should do 2003 with it, with the same number, or maybe 2023 and 2001. 2001, I know, would be a big seller. I know a lot of people are asking for the 2001 season in Inside Pitch with those Mariners. And by the way, kudos to Uncle Ron at Retro Sports Network for completing the 2001 Action PC baseball season he did, where the Seattle Mariners got some redemption. So for those of you who want to check out and see the 01 Mariners actually win a World Series, they probably were supposed to do, okay, check out Uncle Ron Juckett at Retro Sports Network and watch his replay. I was very happy at the Mariners won his 01 replay. I was rooting for the Mariners all the way. I was rooting for his Mariners all the way. 2001 would be good. 2003, where the Florida Marlins beat the Yankees. 2005, where the Chicago White Sox finally got off the schneid. 2004, I know a lot of people would love the 2004 season where the Boston Red Sox finally broke the curse. I know the 2004 season would be a big seller in Inside Pitch. A lot of people would love to play that one for 04, where the Red Sox won the series finally. So I know a lot of people say the 2004 would be huge. I like the 2002 season between the Giants and the Angels, where the Angels finally got redemption and finally won a World Series. 2005 with the White Sox. I forgot who won the 2006 series. That was won by who won the 2006? Who won 2006? That's bad. I don't remember the 2006 season. 2006 season was won by the Cardinals. Okay, the Cardinals. Okay. All right, the Cardinals won the 2006 World Series. I know ID Jester. I know ID Jester right now will. I know he'll be mad at me because I didn't remember the Cardinals winning 2006. Moneyball A's were 2002. Now the 2002 season would be good for A's fans because they would love to see if they can replay that 20 game winning streak that's depicted in Moneyball. So that would be redo the 20 game winning streak for the Athletics in 2002. A lot of people I think would like to play that. Spoiler alert, winning streaks with dice don't work. Yeah, I know, right? But hey, try it anyway. See how far you can get. Some people could do an A's replay, but just from the 20 game winning streak to see if they could actually win 20 and go forward. That would be a nice, interesting replay for Inside Pitch. The thing about Moneyball is, first of all, Moneyball was a great game, great movie. Moneyball was great. I love the film. It is so much fun to watch. But, and everyone says, well, he did it with a whole bunch of scrubs and, got rid of Giambi, Damon, Isringhausen, Pena, and they still won. And they didn't have a great lineup. They forget that the one thing the Athletics had, maybe in 2002, the Oakland Athletics, the 2002 Athletics, didn't maybe have the great lineup that they had from like 2000 and 2001, but they forgot that the 2002 Oakland Athletics had one hell of a pitching staff. Do people remember Mark Mulder, Barry Zito, Tim Hudson? You see, the thing about Moneyball, that movie doesn't even mention the pitching staff. It just mentions that they lost all their hitters and everything like that. It doesn't even mention the pitching staff. That pitching staff in 2002 for the Athletics was nasty. You had what? 320 game. Yeah. And it's not Chavez, Tejada, and the big three. And Zito won the Cy Young. They had a heck of a pitching staff. They had what? 320 game winners on that team. They forgot to mention that. So yeah, he did go ahead, and rebuild the lineup with what he did, and that's fine. But they didn't mention how good the pitching was. So Mulder was the best of the big three. He was awesome. I mean, the A's pitching was amazing. The A's pitching was amazing in the early 2000s. It was. They had a heck of a bullpen too, but they didn't mention the pitching staff. They just thought, we did it with a whole bunch of scrubs. Nope. They forgot to mention the rotation, and the rotation was awesome. That was a great pitching rotation. And real quick here. Let's bring up the 2002 Athletics here. Yeah, they didn't make it to the World. They got beaten. They got beaten by the Twins, but let's see here. You got Tim Hudson with a 2.98 ERA, Barry Zito with a 2.75 ERA, and Mark Mulder with a 3.47 ERA. So Hudson won 15 games that year, Zito 23, and Mulder 19. Okay, so that's what? That's what is that? 60. What is that? 67 wins. What is that? 67? No, that 57 wins. Corey, the rest of the rotation was meh. Corey Lytle and Aaron Harang. But you had Billy Cook in the bullpen with 44 saves. You know, you had Chad Bradford. I mean, I understand how they want to go ahead and, you know, knock the rotation, you know, knock the lineup, but that pitching rotation was nasty. You know, it was nasty. So I'll give the Athletics some credit in 2002. In fairness, the script by Moneyball covers the front office side of the game. Yeah, he does. He does. That's fine. But they tried to mention on, you know, the because remember, none of them I've revisited some of the scenes in Moneyball, and none of them guys say nobody ever says, well, let's see, we just got to replace these. We got to replace these hitters that we've lost, but we still got Boulder, we still got Zito, and we still got Hudson. We should be just fine. We should get at least 60 wins out of those, close to 60 wins out of those guys. Nobody mentioned them. Nobody mentioned the pitching at all. I can't remember anywhere in the whole movie where that pitching staff was mentioned. But yeah, Tracy, you're right. It does cover the front office side of the game. It absolutely does. But so I mean, it's like McNanty getting DFA. And Jason Damon Isringhausen on contract years that year. That's why they make that exactly, Tracy. You're right, absolutely. So Moneyball, don't get me wrong, great film. I loved it. I loved Moneyball. I loved it. Brad Pitt was so good in that. I was so, I really liked him, and of course, a young Chris Pratt playing Hatterberg. It was a very. I thought it was a good movie. Yeah, some facts were intentionally overlooked as Rod Tabletop Hoops joins us here, but they were intentionally overlooked. But you can't take away anything from the film because the film was very, very good. Royce Clayton playing Miguel Tejada. I mean, like I said, a good movie, great movie. I thought it was great. I really did. That's not my favorite baseball film, though. That's not my favorite baseball movie. I mean, Moneyball was terrific, and I loved The Natural. I loved The Natural. I loved Bull Durham. I loved the two Major League films, and of course I love the Jackie Robinson story, and of course I loved I love 60. Yes, I did love 61. 61 was great, and yes, I did like 42. Don't get me wrong, I did like 42. Chadwick Boseman, Wakanda forever, may he rest in peace. He did a great job as Jackie Robinson. I love 42. That was a good film. My favorite baseball movie of all time is 8 Men Out. I loved 8 Men Out. With the story of the 1919 Chicago Black Sox, and I really did love 8 Men Out. That film I thought that's my favorite. I'm not saying it's the best baseball movie ever. Okay, but that was my favorite. 8 Men Out was terrific. Sheen, Cusack, it really just showed. And if there isn't an 8 Men Out in a way, does anyone believe that 8 Men Out is really a 2-hour petition to get Shoeless Joe Jackson into the Hall of Fame? Does anyone believe that if you watch 8 Men Out, the only thing you could think of is that Shoeless Joe Jackson should be put in the Hall because he was the best player of that time? He was the Frank Robinson of his day. Does anyone think that after you watch 8 Men Out, you're saying, wow, Shoeless should be put in the Hall of Fame? And he should be. Really, he should be. That's how I figured when I first watched the movie. film was just Eight Men Out's my favorite baseball movie. I never get tired. I never get tired of watching that movie. I can watch that film over and over again. Eight Men Out is just a great flick, just a great flick. It really is. I Yeah, Shoeless Joe Jackson hit. If Shoeless Joe Jackson was part of the dive, he didn't show it. He had his World Series statistics speak for themselves. So if he was part of it, his stats didn't show it. That's why I would love to do an inside pitch 1919 replay of that season. I told Chris that if you're going to do any dead ball, 1919 would be a great season to do an inside pitch, because I would love to do, to see if I can get the White Sox, can get to the postseason again, and with my my postseason format, see if they actually win the darn thing. Yeah, Kennesaw Mountain Landis. I know. 1919, of course, was a different era for America back at that time too. It was a different era. It was a different era back at the time as well. Yeah, he couldn't read or write, but he could sure play ball. So I gotta admit, he just Shoeless Joe Jackson. They say he tried to take a dive. I said his stats don't show it. He batted over 300 in the series. He didn't make it. I don't think he made an error. I don't know if he made any. I don't remember if he made any errors or not. I don't think he made an error. So, if Shoeless Joe Jackson said if Shoeless was part of it, they don't. As far as I'm concerned, there's no proof. He should be reinstated. Maybe they all should be. I don't know. See, gambling back at the day, is not compared. Gambling today is so much different than gambling back then. Gambling today. I mean, then there's Pete Rose, who said he gambled on it. I mean, gambled on baseball while he was a manager, intentionally, losing games when he was the manager for the Reds. And then of course the steroid era. Here's the thing about the steroid era. In 1994, when baseball was put on, when they canceled the rest of the baseball season in 1994, Major League Baseball was so frowned upon. And the 1994 season, it is so bad that season was canceled. The Montreal Expos looked like they were going to try to bring a World Series to Montreal, and some nobody named Gwynn was flirting with a 400 batting average, and Greg Maddux was flirting, with he was flirting with Bob Gibson type ERA. It is so sad that season was canceled. I think Gwynn gets 400. I think Tony Gwynn gets 400. Was there ever, say what we want, how great Ted Williams was and Wade Boggs and all that. Does anybody here have a problem if I say Tony Gwynn, maybe was maybe the best, Ted Williams is the best hitter in baseball history. I can't take that from him. But does anybody have a problem if I say that Tony Gwynn was the best pure hitter in baseball history? The man didn't strike out. The man didn't strike out. Tony Gwynn. Greg Maddux once said, I can strike anybody out except that bleeping Tony Gwynn. I can't get him out. Greg Maddux hated pitching to Gwynn. Gwynn killed him. I think he was the best pure hitter in baseball history, Tony Gwynn. Rod Carew, I think, was the best contact hitter in baseball history. He sent the ball wherever he wanted to. Yeah, Brian, Rose. But besides that, so after 1994, baseball resumes in 1995. And people are in it, but not, there's nothing really. You're right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Gwynn wound up with less strikeouts in his career than most hitters today strike out in a season. That's how good he was. He had an eye. He had one of the best eyes. He probably had the best eye for the best baseball eye later in history. He may have had the best baseball eye ever. But in 1995, people are in it, said, okay, baseball's back. Big deal. 1996, okay. 1997, they go to the wild card form, the wild card. The Marlins win it. Okay, fine. 1998. 1998 had to be when really America paid attention to baseball again because of the Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa chase to beat 62. In 1998, 62 truly was, okay, good to see you, Philip. 1998 was the first season where Roger Maris's number was really on a threat. And baseball marketed this. They marketed this because of, they need to thank Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa for getting baseball back on the map because of 1998. Oh, I'm sorry, Philip, but hey, next 1990 may get another chance. But hey, your Reds did well in 1972. You're gonna have fun watching that one. But they need to, instead of thanking these guys, and of course Barry Bonds going after 70. Instead of thanking these guys, they get nailed with the PED thing. Yeah, exactly, Brian. Major League Baseball used the steroid guys to draw fans, then threw them away when they no longer needed them. That's. I feel bad. Roger Clemens, the same thing. Roger Clemens, probably, if you want to call, Roger Clemens, maybe the best pitcher of the generation, and yet he can't get in. It would be, it really would be, I agree. 19, and of course they got with the steroids and all that, and that's why some of the greatest baseball players in history can't get in because of the thing. I know people have differing views on that. If they say they cheated, okay, that's fine. Maybe baseball knew they cheated in 1998, but just let them do it because baseball was getting huge ratings every time a Cardinals game was on or a Cubs game was on. Baseball was getting huge ratings because Sosa and McGwire were chasing Roger Maris. Then of course, last year in 2022, when Aaron Judge was chasing Roger Maris, okay, for the most home runs in the American League. In American League Baseball, they had the Yankees on a lot. Okay, 434. That's like 30 strikeouts in a season. I have no problem having a batter on my team that only strikes out 30 times. So that's what? Once he strikes out once per every once per 5 games. Once per every, so he strikes out once per every 5 games. Does anybody have a problem with that? And he batted over 300. Tony Gwynn's one of the greatest of all time, and that goes without saying. Tony Gwynn is one of the greatest of all time, and I don't think any of you guys will argue that fact. He's one of the greatest of all time. Albert Pujols, who just retired last year, he's one of the greatest of all time. Miguel Cabrera, I list as one of the greatest of all time. Okay, so we've had two retirees. I mean, if Albert Pujols does not get 100% of the vote, I'm going to be mad. When Albert Pujols goes into the Hall, so he retired 2022, so 23, 24, 25, 26. So 2027 is when he'd be eligible for the Hall of Fame. If he does not get 100% of the vote, I'm going to be mad. Already predicting Reds games will never steal the opponent bench -3 arm and 72. We'll see what happens, but probably won't. I don't see much stealing on Johnny bench. But I'm going to be mad if Albert Pujols doesn't get 100% of the vote. I'll be mad. I just want to know why. I'm just going to want to know why. I mean, is it because of the 700 home runs? I mean, is that the reason why you don't think he belongs in the Hall of Fame? I just want to know why. I just want to know. And if you tell me because you don't like the guy or you don't like the team he played on, then you need to give up your vote and give it to someone who knows something about baseball. Baseball, we need some new blood choosing in Hall of Famers. Scott Rowland. Come on. Scott Rowland. Scott Rowland can't hold Mike Schmidt's jock. Scott Rowland. I take Nolan Arenado's going in the Hall of Fame, and I take Arenado over Rowland. Nolan Arenado's awesome. I take Nolan. Does anyone here have a problem between Nolan Arenado or Scott Rowland? I take Nolan Arenado in a heartbeat. He's one of the best third basemen of the time right now. Scott Rowland. Tommy John should be in. He's got the same stats as Jim Cott. And we have a surgery named after him. Put him in. Mike Trout's going in the Hall, absolutely. Mookie Betts is going to go in the Hall of Fame. He's right behind Trout in WAR. And he's one of the best players right now of the game, Mookie Betts. TJ's in the Medical Hall of Fame. Well, yeah. Good to see you, Michael Silva. Good to see you there. Welcome. Just a kind of nice little chat with you guys, the state of the network, just to talk about baseball and whatever. 2016 season all done, and now getting ready for 1972 in a couple of months. Thank you very much, Michael. It was a great season. As I said, I didn't think 2016 was going to turn out to be much fun to play, but it turned out I had a great time doing 2016, and I look forward to more contemporary baseball in the future. I'm sure we'll get more of it. But I'm not surprised 1972 won. I think we wanted to go back to the classic era. So I'm not surprised 72 won. I'm not surprised. Maybe the next season we'll go back. We haven't done a modern yet. We haven't done anything from 1990 to 2009 yet. So we haven't done a modern era game yet, a modern era season. 1990 would have been the first modern era season to be done. Okay, but 1972 beat it. 2011. Let me see here. I thought 2011 did. 2011 did actually come up. Here is let's see here. There is your list of your selection shows that I've kept track of. So 2011 was in the 5th selection show. And that was in the 5th selection show. That was the year that 1961 won it. 2000, that was the only time 2011 was selected. That's when 1961 won that vote. 2016 was actually in twice before it won last year with the 7. 1956 has been in twice. I've been up for selection twice. Who else? 2000, the 2000 season has been up for selection twice. Let's see here. Yeah. Only a few seasons have been up for selection twice. But that's okay. We'll get to them, I'm sure, sooner or later. Let's see here. Can you wait for you want to ask an inside pitch? Go ahead and ask an inside pitch rules question. Go right ahead. Go right ahead there, Jeremy. This is a state of the network. If I can't show you on the board right now, but go ahead and ask me a question. Go right ahead there, Jeremy. I will entertain the question. Absolutely. Do I have all the seasons for 10-minute ticker? Yes. I have every single FastScore season for 10-minute ticker. So no matter what season, right now, the seasons he has is 1956 to 2022. And Brian Davis, who creates in FastScore, he'll release 2023 from FastScore, I'm pretty sure, next year. So, yes, I have no matter what season no matter what season I do for Inside Pitch, I will have a FastScore season for it. And I already have the 1972 FastScore season printed. And, me here, there's the cover sheet for 1972. I already have it printed. There's the chart on the back, already set and ready to go. I've already got the first schedule block. I already got the first, let's see. I think I got 5. Let's see here. 5. I think I already got the first 14 or 15 games scheduled for 1972. So make sure Reds win 90% of the games. We don't rig here, Philip Reynolds. We don't rig. We do not rig, although Steeler fan and Brian B would beg to differ. I don't know if you have your error chart with you, but the number 8 throwing error is confusing me. It's only on fly balls to outfielders. I actually do have my chart, as a matter of fact. And let's see what he's looking at here. So the fly ball to outfielders. So let's see on a fly out. So number 8 throwing error is confusing me. That's on an error. That's on the error on a throw. That's on that's on the error on the throw. Is that the issue? Because number 8 is on an error on a throw. Okay. It can be a little. He did. It is a little bit confusing, and it is a little confusing the way he wrote it. And I don't change anything. But I did make a little chart. As a matter of fact, what you're talking about, error on a throw, for F7, F8, and F9. I did make a thing on that. Pretty much an error on a throw. Okay, if it's a fly out, pretty much it's very simple on a fly out. If there's an error on a throw, okay, you first got to see what happens with the fielder. You first got to see if there's going to be a throwing error. And if you come up with an error, if there's no error, then of course nothing happens. If there is an error on a throw, okay, well, first of all, there's not going to be an error on a throw, actually on a fly out, unless you're talking about somebody trying to if it's a fly out and an error on a throw, okay, that's if he's trying to throw out a base runner. So if you have a base runner on third, okay, and if you have a base runner on third, let's say it's a sacrifice fly. If it comes off a sacrifice fly, there's no throwing error because it's automatic. Okay. So if it comes off the batter card and it's a sacrifice fly and it's successful, you're not going to have an error on a throw because the runner automatically scores. There's not going to be a throw to try to get the runner out. He automatically gets there. Okay. You're only going to check an error on a throw if a runner tries to go from second to third or from third to home. And what you got to do is you first got to find out, okay, if the runner even goes. So what you got to do is first you got to see if the runner's going. Okay. And if the runner is going, all right, if the runner is going, okay, and there is a throwing error, he's going to be automatically safe. You just got to roll to see if he's sent. So you got to see if he's safe, okay, or if a runner is sent. If the runner is not going, okay, there's not going to be a throw. There's not going to be a throw if the runner's not going. The outfielder will see the runner's not going, all right, and there's not going to be a throwing error. So pretty much you got to see if he's trying to go. If the runner is sent and you already know there's going to be a throwing error, he's automatically going to be safe. All right. If he's not sent, there's not going to be a throw. There's not going to be a throw. Morgan is a red. Joe Morgan is a red, or at least he's in a red. Joe Morgan's a red in 1972. Okay. Now, if a runner goes from second to third, all right, if a runner, so yeah, not a problem there, Jeremy. Not a problem. Who knows? Maybe that'll come up. Maybe that will come up in in the demo game. I have no problem answering questions. I have no problem answering questions at all. But absolutely, But yeah, Joe Morgan is a Red in 1972. There, Philip, he's a Red. And hold on one second there, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. So that's how that works there, Jeremy. So on an error on a throw on a fly ball. That's all. Error on a throw on singles and doubles and all that stuff. And this is actually too hot to wear, so I think I'm gonna put it off now. And so you see my messy hair, dude. What can you do? I'm losing the hair. Inside pitch is making me lose my hair, guys. So but yeah, so 2016 2016 was terrific. I loved it. I am looking forward to 1972. Going back to the classic years, 1972, I was only 3 years old. I didn't know much about baseball at the time. 1972, I did go to see my first baseball game, though, at Shea Stadium. I went to go see a game between the Astros and the, I think, was it 72 or 73? I don't remember what year it was. I know 72 or 73, I went to my first baseball game. A friend of mine took me to Shea Stadium to go see the Mets, and it was a game against the Astros. I forget the game. I have to look it up. I'll have to look it up. Your hairline was about mine. Don't insult yourself, guy. Don't insult yourself. I'm pretty sure you look better. But I'm looking forward to 1972. 1972 is going to be fun. The games may be short. It's kind of funny that an inside pitch for the 2016 season. The team, do you know which team had the most players, including fringe players on them, for the 2016 season? The Dodgers. The Dodgers actually had the most players. That pack was like this thick. If you got all the fringe players and everything like that, the 2016 Dodger pack was like this thick. You know how thick the pack is for 1972? Half the size. Because they didn't go through many roster players back in the 70s and the 80s. They really didn't start going through all these major rosters, all these 40-man and 50-man rosters until about the 90s and the 2000s. That's when all these players started showing up. In the 60s, in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, I think, a baseball team had only about, 25 to 35 players for a whole season. That was it, including trades and fringe. That's pretty much it. Dwayne Martins joins us here. I only grew up in New York, Jeremy, until I turned 10, because I moved down to Florida in 1979, and I've been here ever since. So, Steeler fan joins us here. Good win for your Steelers last night, by the way. And yep, Gary Nolan, a 1.99 ERA. I would like to let you know Gary Nolan will be the starting pitcher for the demo game for the Reds. He will be the starting pitcher for the demo game because, the demo game is always the two World Series teams for the upcoming season. So the Cincinnati Reds are at the Oakland Athletics. It's at Oakland Coliseum because the Athletics did win the series. So So Gary Nolan will be the starting pitcher for the Reds, and it will be Catfish Hunter pitching for the Athletics. So so Catfish Hunter will pitch for the Athletics. And remember, the demo game is an exhibition game. Baseball rules are relaxed. I don't do fatigue or anything like that. Well, I could. Well, actually, I would do fatigue, okay, to show you how it works. But it's an exhibition game, that kind of thing. Some baseball rules are kind of relaxed a little bit, for exhibitions, just so I can teach the game, not teach it, but show a game in slow motion. So the 1972 demo game between the Reds and the Athletics will be the last week of December, and then we have opening day. Phillies and the Cubs, Steve Carlton versus Fergie Jenkins. What a great pitching matchup to start. What a great pitching matchup to start with. I wanted to start with Tom Seaver. I wanted to start with the Mets and Tom Seaver, but the Mets were playing the Expos. The Mets were playing. Let me see here. I got FastScore right here. I really wanted to start with Tom Seaver. But Tom Seaver was pitching against Doc Ellis of Pittsburgh, which is still a good matchup. I mean, Doc Ellis, Tom Seaver of Pittsburgh, and the Mets, not a bad matchup opening day. Your Reds were hosting the Dodgers. Don Sutton was on the mound for the Dodgers, and Jack Billingham was on the mound for the Reds in that game. But when I saw Steve Carlton and Fergie Jenkins, I had already made my decision. How can you not? Why would you not want to start a great baseball season like 1972, how could you not start with a game between Lefty and Fergie? I just don't see how you. I saw Lefty and Fergie. I said, okay, that's the opening day game. There were for those of you who are wondering, the opening day game for the other seasons that were not chosen, I will go ahead and let you know what they were. For 1990, I believe it was the Cincinnati Reds versus the Houston Astros. That would have been Tom Browning versus Mike Scott. 2022 was going to be the Astros against the Angels. Framber Valdez against Shohei Ohtani. I would have started with Ohtani, which would have been fine by me. And 1956, it was. What happened for 1956? 1956. Hold on, I can let you know. I forget. 1956. I know it had. I think. 1956. What game I had for 56? 1956, I had the Philadelphia Phillies. Versus the Brooklyn Dodgers. I had the Philadelphia Phillies versus the Brooklyn Dodgers for 1956. Robin Roberts versus Don Newcomb. Philadelphia Phillies versus the Brooklyn Dodgers. Robin Roberts, Hall of Famer, versus Don Newcomb. I don't think you guys would have had a problem with that pitching matchup either. Robin Roberts versus Don Newcomb. Plus, of course, the Brooklyn Dodgers, we get to see. There's another reason why I chose the Brooklyn Dodgers. The first opening day of the 1956 season, we get to see the most exciting player in baseball history, Jackie Robinson. So, I don't care what anybody says. Jackie Robinson was the most exciting player in baseball history. So, we would have opened up with J-Rob if 1956 had won. So those were the opening day games scheduled for those other seasons if they had won instead of 1972. But hey, Lefty versus Fergie, I don't think you guys have a problem with those two. 72 is going to be fun. 72, I'm already looking forward to it. In a way, I wish I was starting it now, but I really do need the break. Yeah, 72 Clemente last year, but I know, yes, that was his last year. He does die, but in that season. I will say though, if Clemente is active and the Pirates do make the postseason, he will be playing. He did not pass away until December, so he gets to play. if the Pirates get to the postseason, which they should. The Pirates were a heck of a team that year in 72. They were pretty good. Pirates had a good team. Pirates had a pretty good team. Mets, my Mets in 72 were meh. I had a heck of a pitching staff. The Mets had a heck of a pitching staff in 1972. You had Seaver, you had Koosman, and had a very young 22-year-old John Matlack. You had a pretty good pitching staff, but that team couldn't hit for nothing. They stunk at the plate. You still had Cleon Jones. You had Rusty Staub. You had Bud Harrelson. You know, you still had you had a number of good players, but they couldn't hit for nothing in 1972. The Mets were awful at the plate. They could maybe they'll make the postseason. I don't know. I don't know how good that 70. I don't know how FastScore is going to do them, but but we'll see. Maybe they'll surprise the 72 Mets. But yeah, they were they couldn't hit for crap in 1972. The Yankees in 72 were also mediocre. They were not that great either. The Yankees in 72 were mediocre. Yep, Nolan Ryan was an Angel. Yep, he's on the Nolan Ryan is on the Angels, I believe, in that year, 72. I believe he was on the Angels. Nolan Ryan, best pitcher in baseball history to not win a Cy Young Award. I know how good he was, but I would not take him because he just walked too many batters. Struck out 5,000 and walked close. Struck out 5,000 and walked close to 4,000. I don't care. He had no control. He had no control. I'm sorry. He would walk. Nolan Ryan would walk me. He would give me a free pass. He would give me a free pass. But now the 72 Mets, I'm not expecting much from them. Not with that hitting, not with the lineup. Their lineup was just not great. Not a good lineup. Not a good lineup in 72. They just couldn't hit. Great pitching though. You really can't go wrong with a pitching rotation that starts with Seaver, Koosman, and Matlack. And after that, the rest of the other two in their rotation weren't that great either. 72 Mets. Let's see here. 72 Mets. I mean, this team just couldn't hit. I mean, the 72 Mets were, how bad were the 72 Mets at the plate? They were second worst in batting in 1972. They had a .225 batting average. The only team that was worse at the plate than the Mets was the Texas Rangers at batted .217. At .217 batting average. The Mets were horrible at the plate. The Pirates were the best. They had a .274 batting average. The Cardinals behind them. The Pirates are the best hitting in baseball that year. In ERA, though, the team with the best pitching staff was the Baltimore Orioles. They had a 2.53 ERA, but the Athletics were only 0.05 points worse. The Athletics had a 2.5. You had 6 teams. No, I'm sorry. Seven teams that had an ERA under 3. The Orioles, the Athletics, the Dodgers, the Pirates, the Twins, the Indians, and the Tigers. The Mets ERA was 3.26. The Yankees 3.05. Okay. But the Mets, 72 Mets, they were managed by Yogi Berra that year. You had Seaver, Matlack. You still had Gary Gentry, but Gentry was a 4.01 ERA. Koosman had one of his worst years. He had a 4.14 ERA. The pitcher that had a 2.80 ERA for the Mets that year was Jim McAndrew. He had a 2.80 ERA. He was 11-8. Seaver was a 20-game winner though, 21-12, and he had 249 Ks. But at the plate, you had Duffy Dyer, Ed Kranepool. You had Ken Boswell. He was Ken Boswell. He was the leading. He was the second leading hitter. The leading hitter for the Mets in 1972 was LeGrand Orange. was rusty. A 2.93 ERA. And none of these guys can hit home runs. John Milner led the team in bombs with only 17 home runs. Scooney 007 joins us here. Good to see him. So, yeah, 73 was the year for the Mets, not 72. But they finished above 500. So, if that's true, we'll see what FastScore does for my Mets as we move forward. My Mets still haven't won a playoff series in Inside Pitch. My Mets have lost the playoff series in every year that they've been in it. They lost in 1985. They lost in 85, the wild card game to the Reds. They lost to the Phillies in 76 in Division Series. They lost to the Giants in 88 in Division Series. And they lost they lost to the Giants again after beating the Pirates in 2016. My Mets can't win on the board. Can't win a postseason game on the board. That's just what happens sometimes. You know? A lot of people I know like let's see, Brian. I don't think Brian Patterson. Are you in the chat? Brian, are you here? I don't know if Brian Patterson is here. I don't think so. No, Brian's not in the chat today. But Brian Patterson, the big-time Indians fan, of course. I mean, I'll be honest, 2016, I was actually surprised that the Cubs and the Indians did not meet up in the World Series. I am really surprised that the Indians and the Cubs didn't make it to the World Series in my 2016 season. The Dodgers and the Red Sox, I never thought those two would play, and I didn't think the Dodgers would win it. I thought the Red Sox are the better team. But ninth inning magic strikes again. It took you 5 seasons to win a World Series. The Reds, the 1974 season. Yeah, and 74, they were good, but they weren't. I mean, they were good, but 74, just before the big red machine. I mean, what? The only way I'm going to win a World Series with my Mets, I'm going to have to replay the entire 1986 season? Luck of the dice or curse of the dice? Exactly. And good to see Mr. John Wise. So, surprising as the 2016 season was, I had a lot of fun with it. I look forward to more contemporary baseball. Contemporary baseball is a lot of fun. You're playing the 1986 season. Yep. The 1986 New York Mets. Mets are kicking. Yeah, they would. Yeah. I don't care what anybody says. The 1986 Mets are one of the best baseball teams in baseball history. Top 10. The 1986 Mets are one of the best baseball teams in history. They are a top 10 team in baseball. 108 wins. They dominated. They just ran away with the National League East. And it took 6 games to beat the Astros, who had a great pitching rotation. And then, of course, it took 7 to beat the Red Sox. But the 1986 Mets are one of the best teams in history. One of the best teams ever. And can anybody also agree with me that the 1986 postseason as a whole was one of the best postseasons ever? If not, maybe the best postseason ever. I mean, what? 3 of the games in that 1986 postseason were listed on MLB Network's top 10. 3 of those games in that postseason. Game 6 of the NLCS between the Astros and the Mets and Astros. Game 5 of the ALCS between the Red Sox and the Angels. And, of course, Game 6 of the World Series. From a Sox fan, no. 76 Reds, 102 wins were better than the 75 Reds, 108 wins. I mean, the 1988, a lot of people consider the 1988 Mets better than the 1986 Mets. The problem was the 88 Mets didn't win the World Series. They never got there. So yeah, the 88 Mets, a lot of people say were better than the 86 Mets, but I think the 86 Mets were a little different than the 88 Mets. The 86 Mets were different. That team just didn't want to lose. They just didn't want to lose. They didn't want to lose. And I think if you're on a team that has the mindset that you just don't want to lose, I don't think you're going to lose many games. So, I still say that a lot. I still say the 86 Mets are one of the best teams ever in history. I say top 10. I say top 10. Top 10. I don't think I can. I don't think I'll go. I think top 10 is fair. And if anybody wants to put that team in the top 5, I don't think I'll have an issue with that either. But I think top 10 is fair. I think top 10 is very fair to the 86 Mets. The 69 Mets were a heck of a team too. They were a heck of a team also, the 69 Mets. You know, but they really didn't dominate. They really didn't dominate until later. The 86 Mets dominated throughout the whole season. What is it? They got, I think the 86 Mets took over first place in late April in 86, and they just didn't look back. That's what you call domination. That's what you call domination. You know, kind of like the 1998 Yankees. Although the 1998 Yankees, a lot of people say that team was maybe the best ever. You know, I got a little bit of an issue with that. The 1998 Yankees, yeah, you did win 16 games or something like that, 118 or whatever that is. But I guess it helps when you have an expansion Tampa Bay Devil Rays team in your division. So the Mets didn't have that. They had to play the best team. They had to play the best talent in 1986 to get 108 wins. As the Yankees didn't have to do that. They had to play a team. I think they were 15-2 against the Rays in 1998, the expansion Devil Rays that year. So, I don't know. I'm not saying that team wasn't good. They were great. They were a great team. I'll still say one of the best ever. I will say that the 1998 Yankees is one of the best teams in history. Yes, I will. I'll put them in top 10. But when you play in a division where you've just expanded and 15 of your games against an expansion team, I kind of wonder. Guarantees 72 Astros will finish in top 3. The 1972 Astros did finish in third place, I believe, in the National League West that year. They're a good team. The 72 Astros are pretty good. You had a pretty good there. Craig Scarborough joins us here for the chat. Good to see you. I mean, the 72 Steeler fans, 72 Astros. They had good hitters. They were top 5 in batting that year, and they stunk though on the mound though. They were bottom 5 in pitching, but what do you hear? The 1972 Astros. I mean, you had Lee May. You had a 26-year-old Bob Watson who batted .312. You had a 21-year-old Cesar Cedeno who batted .320 that year. You had Don Wilson, who was the best pitcher for the team at a 2.68 ERA. You had Durker. You had Dave Roberts. You had a young Jerry Rolls-Royce at 23 years old. 23-year-old or young Jerry Royce. A very young Jerry Rolls-Royce. What about the Braves in the 90s? Well, like I said, John, you're right about that, John. The Braves in the 90s, yeah, like the 1980s Mets should have won more championships than they did. The same thing with the Braves. The Dodgers now come to mind. Are the Los Angeles Dodgers today, are they the 90s Braves and the 80s Mets of today? They won one championship in 2020, all because really of the COVID season, but it still counts. Okay, fine. But how many division titles have the Dodgers won, and how many championships have they won since then? The Los Angeles Dodgers, right? The Los Angeles Dodgers right now. The Los Angeles Dodgers are the 1990s, are the 90s Braves and the 80s Mets, okay, of the 2010s and the 2020s right now. All those championships, one World Series. Chris's next season, Craig, will be 1993 and 1996. If you're dying for 93, you will have it. This month, he should be releasing 1993 and 1996 this month. Because if you remember, when I did my selection show, I did include 93 and 96 in the selection cards because I knew he was going to release those seasons before January 1. So if they had won, I'd be waiting still for the seasons, but they were available. So 1993 and 1996 are next on his list. They should be out in November. And then next year he will do 2023. And of course, he's going to work on 2001 to 2006, fill the holes in the remaining 2000s. And then after that, I told him he could do what he wants. Of course, I can't really tell Chris Davis anything. I can't tell him anything. It's his game, and I love him for it. But, you think Chris will have a Black Friday sale? I doubt it. Come on, he's a one-man show. He may have something. Maybe he'll do something but come on, really. His seasons are not that expensive. I don't understand. His seasons are not that expensive. They're not that expensive compared to Appa. Compared to Appa. Appa. If you want to get a whole season from Appa, you have to pay what, over $100 for a season from Appa, and you have to not only get a whole season, but you also have to get the extra players. Really? His seasons are not that expensive, people. Come on, really. His seasons are very comparable. Plus, And you also got to realize, guys, you're not just getting, a season. First of all, you're getting absolute awesome customer service, because if you have a question, he will answer it. His most expensive season right now, his most expensive seasons are 2022, 2021, and 2019 for color. $76. Okay, 76. That's for color. But if you get like a season like 19, go back to like 1956, is $50. Plus you get a fringe player download. You can download the players that he didn't print, and you can just print them on your own printer using 110-pound card stock. You get top of the line. You get top of the line customer service from him. If you have a problem with a card he printed, you let him know. Send him a picture of the card or something, and he'll send you a replacement. Okay. If you're missing some ratings off a card, he'll do that. If the colors are wrong, he'll fix that. You don't know how many times I've sent him emails saying on some errors that he made on his seasons, but he's never complained about that. He just wants me to make sure I have ballpark names and that stuff. Every time he's about to release a couple of new seasons, I always send him the ballpark names to make sure they're right. Not because of him, but because he gets his ballpark names from Retro Sheet, and Retro Sheet is not up to date. I actually had to email Retro Sheet for like Oakland Coliseum and say, hey, look, you're missing a lot of names for Oakland Coliseum. He still hasn't updated it yet. And yeah, then you get the PDFs. You can just get the PDFs if you want. Just get the PDFs and print them on your own, use your own ink and use your own paper. Really, his seasons. Yeah, Landshark Stadium. Yep, Landshark Stadium. Yes, Landshark Stadium. But not with 93. 93 was still known as 93. It was known as Joe Robbie in 93, and it was known as Pro Player in 96. But yeah, I keep track of his ballpark names too, because I want them to be right. But when I find a mistake, he updates his file so that nobody else should get a mistake. Shouldn't. But if he does, you let him know. His customer service exemplary, and he gets them out to you fast. I place an order if he releases 1993 and 1996 on Saturday, tomorrow, all right, or on Sunday, I guarantee you they're going to ship out Monday, and I'll have them Wednesday or Thursday and start separating and go through, see what errors I find. And every time I find an error, I send them I take a picture of it and send them and say, look, you got an error here. Send me a replacement, and send me a replacement, which he does, and update your file so that nobody else gets that same error. I mean, come on. So you're not just paying for the cards, you're also paying for the service. Nobody beats his service. Nobody. The only guy that comes close is Joe Bryan, a payoff pitch. But Stratomatic, customer service, what's that? APA? They never heard of it. Fall Classic is pretty good in customer service, I've heard, but they were a little slow for me when it comes to shipping. But to their credit, I was ordering during the COVID era, so I'll give them a pass. But you know what I mean? You purchase Inside Pitch, you're also purchasing Chris Davis's baby. Is his system perfect? No, but it doesn't. But does it really have to be? Does it? And then of course, Keith and Sam at Play Games. Yes, and thank you, John Wise. I'm not going to knock Play. I'm not going to knock Keith Avalon. Keith Avalon is awesome. I don't have one bad word to say about that man or Play. I do have some of their games, and I do like his system. Okay, and he is just an amazing human being. Can't knock Keith. Their customer service is great as well. I asked for some extra chips or something. He sent them right to me. No, I have play.com, also top of the line. They'll be in the top 3. You need to play the seasons I have before getting more. It takes time to play 162 games. Yes, it does. That's one of the reasons why I like this way I do it. 1 game per 3 days, 3 days of baseball. So a regular season we get done in 2.5 months with FastScore, and then we're right into the postseason, which is really what you guys really want to see. I know you want to see the regular season games too, but come on, the regular season games and the All-Star game. By the way, the 72 All-Star game is in Atlanta. I did not mention that the 72 All-Star game is in Atlanta Stadium, home of the Braves. So that's where the All-Star game will be played this year. American League versus National League. Of course, I will do the All-Star game. But it's just nothing's perfect, but that's why I like. But come on, like I said, we all want to see the postseason. We want the playoffs. That's what we want. We want the playoffs. I know that. That's where Inside Pitch really shines. The regular season and FastScore is just filler. That's all it is. The postseason is really the bread and butter of my replays. It really is. So Robert, when did I make the decision to broadcast my games? After watching Al Red Sox Fan and baseball demos. After watching Al Red Sox Fan and baseball demos, mostly, I'll be honest, Al Red Sox Fan gave me a very good punch into it because I liked the way Al was doing it. I just love the way he announces. And I said, geez, and I said to myself, wow, maybe I can do this. And then I had to choose a game. And then after watching ID Jester, and he chose Payoff Pitch as his number 1, I said, I'll try Payoff Pitch. And I love Payoff Pitch. But I thought there was something missing. I thought there was something missing from Payoff Pitch. And then I started watching Dave at Baseball Demos do Inside Pitch. And I said, something tells me this game I want to try. And after I purchased it, I started the beginning with the 1956 season and started doing it. And I said, this game is fun. Yeah, the base running mechanic was a little bit difficult for me to come to. But after I got it down, I think the base running mechanic is the most realistic mechanic you can play. Because it's not recorded. A chart doesn't decide the base runner, or a card doesn't decide the base runner. The dice do, and that's what I think. Started using my stadium groans. Don't start doing that, Craig. If you start acting like me, man, I may have to call the crazy house to have you picked up. Why to slow down my opening line of good evening, everyone? You say, I don't know. Jeez. I don't know. Brian Patterson finally shows up. I should go ahead and give you the block dragon just because you showed up so late. Brian Patterson. Yeah, you should hang your head down. You know what? Maybe it's good that your Indians didn't make it to the World Series in 2016. How about that? Ha! See what happens? His Indians, Brian Patterson's Cleveland Indians don't make the World Series in my 2016 replay, and he goes ahead and starts being late to my chats. You know, really, Brian, I thought we were buds. I thought we were down. Really? I'll have to decide. I hate to say this, though. Brian Patterson, let's see, his Cleveland Indians in 1972. Were they any good? Let me see here. Cleveland Indians, 72 wins, 84 losses in 1972. No, they weren't that good. Sorry there, Brian. I hate to say this, but 1972 is going to be a long year, I think, for the Cleveland Indians. But then again, FastScore could surprise. They sucked. Yeah, no, they were not that good. Don't worry about it, Brian. My Mets aren't going to win anything either that year, I don't think, because they stunk too. They had a winning record, but they couldn't hit a lick. They could not hit a lick. Second worst team in batting in 1972. Ugh. Michael Silva rolling payoff pitch. Payoff pitch is awesome. Payoff pitch is terrific. Payoff pitch is so much fun to play. And after playing it, and then after the 1994 restart that I did, I had a great time. And then I started the 1985 season with payoff pitch. And as I was moving along, I'm saying there's something missing. I just said there's something missing from payoff pitch. There was something missing. I don't know what it was. I don't know, something, but there was one problem I had with payoff pitch. It was a little bit too predictable. If you get a high roll in the D10s, you already know it's going to be an out. And I don't know, there was something missing. But when I went to inside pitch, I realized, no, inside pitch has what I was missing. The fun factor. The fun factor. ID Jester joins us here at the chat. What is missing, RJL? The fun factor. I'm not saying payoff pitch wasn't fun. It was fun. Okay. I just felt it wasn't, I don't know. I just felt inside pitch was more exciting. Come on, guys. Come on. Anybody tells you that inside pitch is not exciting should check out games 1 and 2 of the 2016 World Series I just rolled. Any questions? Anyone who doesn't say that inside pitch is not exciting should check out my the San Francisco Giants versus the Pittsburgh Pirates game that I had to divide into 2 days due to loss of the internet. Inside pitch is the most exciting baseball game you can play. Tabletop game you can play. Maybe not the best, maybe not the most realistic or maybe not the most realistic or ratings set or whatever, but I don't care. It was awesome. And of course, Steeler fan has to bring up Steeler fan. I think you're now living in the past. When did I do the 1985 season? What, 2020? I think that was 3 years ago. Steeler fan, I think you need Matt. I think you need to stop living in the past. I think you need to stop living in the past. Because I want to know what your Astros have done since then. In my network, not in real life. I'm not going to count 2022. Okay. I'm talking on my network in inside pitch. So you got to stop living in the past, Steeler fan. I'm sorry. 1985 was ages ago. That was a whole lifetime ago, Steeler fan. Plus, that wasn't used FastScore. The 1985 season used the quick play results from Joe Bryan and payoff pitch, and then FastScore was used later for 1985, and that was half payoff pitch, half inside pitch. I wonder how the Astros would do if I did the entire thing in inside pitch and FastScore, but it probably would still be the same anyway. What does the Mets past look like on my channel? We haven't won shit. We haven't won anything either. You've won something, at least we haven't. I can't win a playoff series. Let's see here. What are some other ways of getting results for games you don't roll besides FastScore? Brian Davis does have FastScore for football for the NFL. He does have that. I've not tried it, though. Play.com has a quick results setup for its teams for baseball. But I like FastScore. FastScore is just FastScore is just so easy. I mean, really, print it out, and start rolling. And that's it. Print, play, roll, done. That's all I got to do. After I print FastScore, all I got to do is choose the games I want to play and the schedule blocks. And that's all. What I suggest you do with black and white seasons you purchased a while ago. I love the color season. Feel stupid paying full price for a color season. Something I already have. I don't know. Sell them or something. But that's the thing. I don't know why he even sells the black and whites. I would actually tell him to take the black and white seasons off. But then again, some people don't care about the colors. But that's the thing. That's one of the nuances of his game. He has colors. He has colors on his cards. Okay, not many games have that. Appa don't have it. Stratomatic don't have it. Fall Classic don't have it. Season Ticket Baseball has it from Clay Dreslock. He has the colors on his cards. Okay. Joe Bryan just started putting some sort of color on the cards for his sets. Okay. Although he just puts them in a color line or something. But that's the one thing. That's one of the nuances of inside pitch. And black and white is cheaper too, by only by about $10. For an extra $10, you might as well get color. But but then again, it's that's one of the nuances of the game is his color. Pine Tar had color. Yes, Pine Tar also has color there, Brian Patterson. Yes. And Pine Tar Baseball is excellent. I never played it, but I've seen Al Red Sox fan. History Maker Baseball I love too. I don't have a copy of it. I'm not going to purchase a copy of it, not because I don't want it, but because I just don't want to go to another baseball system. I prefer inside pitch, and that's, I think, the only baseball system I'll play. I don't think I want to play any other baseball system. I just don't. But History Maker Baseball, I like watching everybody else play it. I like watching baseball demos play History Maker. I like watching After Further Review with Steve Tower. I like watching him play History Maker. You know what? Inside pitch, I guess, is my game. A lot of people say it's my game because some people call me the guru of it or whatever. So a lot of people think that inside pitch is my game. You know what? Let everybody else have their game. Let Steve Tower have History Maker Baseball. Let Tony Porter at Cards and Dice. Let him have Fall Classic. ID Jester. He's playing triple play baseball. I saw him play triple play baseball, which is also a good system. Okay. You know what? And then of course, what is it? And Lee Anthony Crooks at Bleacher Bums Gaming. He's playing for baseball, he was playing Field Day Baseball, which is another version of Fall Classic. You know what? Let them run those games. I'll stick with inside pitch. Since that seems to be my bread and butter, I won't take anybody else's bread and butter from anywhere else. I won't do that. Let everybody else have have theirs. That's okay. Let them have their cake. I have mine. And maybe I'll go ahead and, I got some stuff I want to try too. And, that's what I would like to see. So, yeah, Craig, sell them. Sell them for cheap if you can. See what you can get for them. If you do sell them, though, get them in color. If you got the 2008, the 2009 season, don't, if get them in color, I would, before you sell the black and whites, because you're going to want them in color. So that's what I think. It's just great. I can't see anybody just, a lot of people get turned off by the base running mechanic. I said it's not that hard. It really isn't. Maybe it's a little bit difficult to get grasp early, but once you get it, it's second nature. And of course, I created a base running helper card that makes it so much easier to figure it out without having to add everything. When I'm not streaming, if I'm playing offline, which I do sometimes do to keep to practice, I'll be honest. Like I said, sometimes during the off season, I'll play a game on offline just to keep I won't announce it. I'll just play it. I won't announce it to myself. I'll just play the game. I'll tell you, an inside pitch game that's not announced, that's not announced, a game that I don't announce, you know how long it takes me to play that game? Less than 40 minutes. I can be done with the game in 40 minutes. And if it's a pitcher's duel, I once got done with an inside pitch game in 30. And I didn't keep stats. I just wanted to roll it. I really didn't keep stats. I didn't. I just took two teams, made the lineup, put the cards in my in my thing here, and just rolled. And that's it. And it took me like less than 30 minutes to play a game. Wish the game were a bit more polished. Play the inside pitch PC game. The inside pitch, that has been updated again. I believe the inside pitch PC game was updated again. I think Bill Salm, who does the inside pitch PC game, all right, I think he did another update. So that should be, it should be able to, you download the demo this week, then you should have the update, then it should be fully there. The game, the inside pitch PC game is excellent. I love it. But it doesn't have an AI, it doesn't have that and all that. I still use it because I play it on practice. I do not have every season for the PC game. I didn't need to, when I was purchasing the seasons for the cards and dice, I did not get every season for the PC game. I wasn't interested because I want to play cards and dice. But I do, use the PC game to get to refresh when I'm getting ready to play. I do use the PC game to refresh. And I do have the 72 season in PC, as a matter of fact. So I could actually do a little refreshment there. Does the PC game give you daily available 25-man rosters? It's supposed to, yes. You should get the 25-man rosters that were, when you choose a game on a certain date, it should have the players that were on that team on that date. But it doesn't list it the way I like it in Action PC Baseball. Action PC Baseball, I can click on any day on the calendar, then go to the team, and then go to the team, and it'll show me a list of not available and everybody that was. It is so easy. Action PC Baseball, to me, is the easiest helper to do the cards and dice. It really is. It really is. Because I said, because remember, I told you I simulate along with it. In playoffs, too. In the playoffs as well. I simulate along with the playoffs as well. Just to see what happens with the game engine. I can actually tell you who won every World Series on the Action PC rate of the Action, how Action came about it. I could actually tell you who won that, But yeah, that's Action PC Baseball tells you who's available and who's not. And I use it every single night because I remember, as I tell you, when I'm done with a game, I wrap up the cards and everything, and then I get the 2 new seasons. And then I immediately go to Action PC Baseball, simulate the day I just did and 2 more, and then go to that date. And then I bring up the teams that I'm about to do. And then I go ahead and go through the teams and choose the cards, okay? And if there's a player that's not on the team but is on a different team, okay, then I go to Baseball Reference. I mean, I could use Action for that too, but Action's a little clunky when it comes to going back to the database back and forth. So I just go to Baseball Reference, and it tells me what team that player was on. And then I just go to that pack and grab it. And then, of course, anytime I tell you that, okay, there's a player here that's not wearing the same uniform as everybody else, I tell you why. Like Ted Kubiak. Ted Kubiak was on the Oakland Athletics, but he started with the Texas Rangers. So if I play a game with the Rangers and Kubiak's on the Rangers, he'll be wearing an Oakland uniform according to Inside Pitch. So I'll tell you that Ted Kubiak will be on the Oakland Athletics at the end of the year, but right now he's on the Rangers. I always let you guys know in case the uniform does not match. And yes, I will repeat it every time. Like you notice, I've always told you every single game during the postseason that Brad Ziegler was on Arizona, Coco Crisp was on Oakland, Brandon Guyer was on Tampa Bay, but now with the Indians, I always do that. So in case anybody that is not in the chat but watches the stream later and doesn't know what I'm doing and says, well, if he's playing an Indians game, why does he have Rich Hill for the Oakland Athletics pitching for the Dodgers? Well, that's why I say Rich Hill started the season with the Oakland Athletics, okay, wound up on the Dodgers later in 2016. And that's the reason why I tell him. You think Krent will print 2 traded players one day? No. And in my opinion, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to, no. And I will not ask him to. It's not necessary. I don't think it's necessary. I really don't. One of the reasons why his engine works the way it does is, you got a player that maybe stunk on one team, but was great on another team. But hey, that's what happens. That's what happens sometimes. He has a tab that, exactly, Brian, but no, I don't think he'll ever create 2 cards for traded players, and he doesn't have to. Plus, it's a waste. Plus, you know how many cards he'd have to print out? For instance, the traded play, when I got done with the 2016 season, I had to put all the players back to where their main teams were. Do you know how thick the traded player pack was? This thick. It was this thick full of cards that I had to move players from teams that they were moved to back to their original team because I keep my players organized. It was this thick. So you're telling him he's going to have to go ahead and print out another 20 or 30 sheets for traded players? Not necessary. He does not have to do that. He does not have to do that. Joe Bryan wants to do that for payoff pitch. He can do that. Fall Classic wants to do that. They can do that. That's fine. In my opinion, one card is enough. He did have to create a fringe player for, you did notice that Kyle Schwarber was not in the Cubs lineup at all, okay, for the postseason, because Kyle Schwarber did not have enough at bats to make the postseason. But for people that want to play a Chicago Cubs Cleveland Indians World Series replay, he had to create a Kyle Schwarber card that hit 412, because his card that he normally had 000 has no chance of hitting 412. He had to create a card, just a special World Series card for Kyle Schwarber, so that people wanted to play the Cubs and the Indians World Series replay, they would be able to do it. But Kyle Schwarber, I wouldn't have used that. If the Cubs had made the World Series, I would not have used that card anyway. Schwarber did not make the postseason roster. Robert, I doubt you'll have some 26-man roster, some 72 playoff teams. Reds probably won. That is true. Okay, there have been many a time that in the 1961 season, I was not able to have 26-man rosters for 1961. That's fine. But then again, baseball was much different back then, okay? They didn't have all these pinch hitters. Pitchers usually pitched as long as they possibly could back in the day. I don't think I'll have to. Remember, I did 76. I had no problem. I did 85 and had no problem. Did 81, had no problem. Okay. Did 79 and had no problem with 26-man roster. Don't worry. I'll have enough players. I'll get the rosters ready. 26 is the limit, but I usually will be able, 26 is the limit, and if I can't make the limit, that's fine, but they cannot go over. That's all. That's all. But remember, baseball was much different back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. I mean, like I said, the 72 Dodgers, the pack is like this big. The 2016 Dodgers was double that size. Yeah. So he doesn't have to make, he doesn't have to make traded players. I don't think it's necessary. Appa doesn't do it. Appa doesn't make traded players. They have extra players, but they don't have traded players. Appa doesn't do it. Stratomatic doesn't do it. So how about somebody do bear with Stratomatic? Stratomatic don't do it. So you know what? Stratomatic don't do it. Stratomatic don't even give you all the players anyway. Chris Davis gives you all the players. Should run out of pitchers. I tell you, I almost did run out of pitchers with some of those relievers in 2016, but I was able to work with it. That's why payoff pitch count card is so huge. Yeah, because he has traded players. Exactly. So what do you need to be able to play? Is there a printable version? For what there, John? A printable version for what? By the way. Jimmy Jam. Good to see you there, sir. Glad 1972 is coming. Go White Sox. Dick Allen and Wilbur Wood. Oh, yes. Yes, the 1972 White Sox, that team didn't stink. The 72 White Sox, that was not a bad team. They were pretty decent. The Chicago White Sox in 1972, let's see, they finished 5.5 back of the Oakland Athletics. They were 87 and 67. They only played 154 games. Remember, 1972, some teams played 154, some played 156, 57, and no, I'm not adding any more games. It is what it is at that time. But yeah, Chicago White Sox in 1972, good club. Let's see here. You had Dick Allen, who should be in the Hall of Fame. Carlos May. You had Carlos May there. You had Dick Allen should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why they didn't put him in. You had Wilbur Wood, great year. Stan Bonson. Stan Bonson was a 20-game winner. 21 wins, 16 losses, a 3.60 ERA. You know, they only had a 4-man rotation in 2016. They really had Wood. You had Tom Bradley. You had your closer was Terry Forster, 29 saves, a 2.25 ERA, and had a pretty good bullpen as well. You had Saya Costa, a 1.56 ERA. This 1972 White Sox team could be very interesting come postseason time. I think it was 76 was when they had the shorts game, I think, to get started with Inside Pitch. Oh, no, John, you just order a copy of Inside Pitch off the website. Of course, there's a printable. You see me play it. So, yeah, of course, there's a printable version for Inside Pitch. Absolutely, John. Order a season from Inside Pitch. You'll get, make sure you get all the game parts and then choose your favorite season and separate and go. Or choose a PDF or order by PDF. But I still recommend printing it out. Let them print it out, separate the cards, and make sure you get the website is confusing. You know what, John? You're not wrong there. The website can be a little confusing, but if you go to his website, what you're gonna do is you would order at the top. You'll see printed and shipped 11 to 32. You would do add to cart and pay $19 for that. Okay. You're not going to get an upgrade. If you're getting a brand new set, okay, you got to do the top one. All right. You don't need to buy the $32 one, which includes the 2008 World Series teams. You don't need to do that. If you're going to buy a season, okay, you only pay $19 because you're going to purchase a season. So you want to purchase at the top, add to cart the $19 one, and then go underneath that and do print it. And I would really get the color one. So print it and ship color, and choose your favorite season and add that to cart. And at one point, he was missing a whole bunch of seasons, but he's almost done. 1993 and 1996 should be out this month, and then he's going to finish off 2001 to 2006 next year, I believe, and with, of course, 2023. And John, if you need a little help, watch my demo games. I have a whole bunch of demo games on my channel. I have a demo game for every season that I've done. I had to make up a couple, as a matter of fact. Before I did the 2016 demo game, I did not have demo games for 1976 and 1985, so I did that. I did demo games for those seasons as well. And I did not do a demo game for 1994, for the 1994 restart. The reason why I'm not going to do a demo game, even though he does have the 1994 season out now, I'm not going to do a demo game for 1994 because the restart was payoff pitch. So I'm not going to do an inside pitch demo for a payoff pitch season. I won't do that. But if 1994 comes up, in the selection cards, I will do one for 1994. And yes, even though I did do a 1994 restart with payoff pitch, if 1994 ever comes up in the selection cards and you guys select it, all right, I will do a replay up to when the season is canceled. Will he eventually do 1955 on back? I have mentioned that to him. I've mentioned that to him. The only thing, I'll tell you the truth, the only thing I care about is because I'm OCD and I hate seeing holes in the middle of the chronology, like missing all the 90s seasons that he had and missing all the 2000s. I hated that. I have OCD. So I told him, I said, after you do 2001 to 2006, you can do whatever you want. I did mention, though, he should do the rest of the 50s. I mentioned it if he would want to do finish off the 50s, 1950 to 1955 or 1951 to 1955. I mentioned he could probably finish off the 50s and round off a season with a number, but he can truly make the decision on that. Because I know a lot of people are asking him to see if he could do dead ball. But remember, he utilizes the dip system. He uses Voros McCracken's dip system, and he has to have pitch-by-pitch information in order to create his pitching cards. Okay? Without that information, he can't make the season. That's why it took so long for him to do 1957. Because 1957, okay, took a while for him to do because the pitch-by-pitch information by Retro Sheet wasn't available. It just became available. That's why he was able to do 1957 early this year. You don't have OCD, you have CDO. Put the acronym out. Yeah. Something like that. Just found emails at Christmas 2008 discussing dips. Yeah. But yes, Brian, 1955 on back, I would love to see some seasons before 1956. I would love to I would love to see what seasons he would love to do. I would love to do 1908, 1921, 1919, 1924, 1933, 1941, 1954 would be a lot of fun to play. If you had to guess, what decade do you think sells the most? I would think the 70s. I would think the 70s is probably the season that most, and that's actually the time. I would think the 70s and 80s and the early 90s is Chris Davis's favorite favorite it would be 19. He loves old. He loves classic and classic to early modern baseball. He's not a fan of the 2000s and the 20s and the 2020s. He doesn't like baseball that much then, but of course he's going to make them because there are people that do. You know, but I'd say 70s would be is the most one that's used. Can you go on their website, walk me through what I should click on in order for the 2016 and 2022 seasons? Sure. Let's see. So if you were to go on the website, are you on the website now there, John? Are you on the website there now? Okay. So go underneath the see Inside Pitch Baseball, go underneath where you'll see the first yellow box, printed and shipped, $11 to $32. And you'll see right next to it, you'll see Inside Pitch Baseball version 3 game parts, and you'll see Inside Pitch V3 game parts when also purchasing a printed MLB season at the same time. So you'll see where it says add to cart, $19. Okay. So, you know, it says $19. You click on that for add to cart. All right. And then it'll bring you to PayPal, and then you'll go back to continue shopping. Or just back arrow. Okay. All right. So then you click on add to cart for $19. All right. It'll bring you to a PayPal. Then just back arrow to go back to where you were. Don't click on continue shopping. I mean, you could, but just back arrow it. All right. Then you go back to the, you're back again on on the season selection screen. Okay, so now you want what? You want 2016 and 2022. So now what you do, you go underneath printed and shipped color, and you'll go across where it says 2022, and you'll say add to cart. It's the $76 one. Okay. That's for 2022, and then for 2016. You go down a little bit to 2016, the season I just did. Okay. For $75. John Haverly joins us. So you should, okay. Is the $18 one the ones that I print at home? Do you want to print at home, or do you want a printed set? The $18 ones are the ones you printed home. Yes. That you printed home. Is that what you want to do? If you want to print it home, then you're going to choose the $18 one, the ebook PDF via email. Would you rather print it home and not get them? Okay, then in that case, then you're going to do the $18 for 2022 and then the $18 for 2016. It's a lot of card stock. You're going to need a lot of card stock, and the stock he uses is 118 pound, 110 pound card stock. That's what I use. Yeah. This is the card stock I use to print the French players on. 110 pound card stock. Okay. If you get, and he'll send you an email, which will send you that, and then you just go ahead and print. You just go ahead and print them out. I really think, and that's a lot of cutting. It's a lot of cutting, but I'll be honest, probably cutting. I guess it would take the same amount of time to cut a season out than it would, and at the same time to separate them all. It's a lot of card stock and a lot of ink. But if you want to do it that way, John, then absolutely, you go right ahead and do it. You go ahead. We're not telling you what to do. You can go ahead and get the PDF version, and you'll get them pretty quickly. All right, and then you just print them out. But you're still going to have to order the game parts. So you're still going to make sure you order the game parts because you're still going to need that. Okay? You're still going to need that. You're still going to need the game parts anyway. And you could probably, and instead of maybe getting the $19, you could just do the Inside Pitch Baseball version 3 game parts. Okay, add to cart for $7. You could do that too, and that'll print out as well. I have not done any full season stats with Inside Pitch to see if they come out realistic, Jimmy Jam, because I don't do complete 162. Yes, there is a print version PDF. Look on go back up to the top, and you'll see where it says ebook PDF via email, $7, and you'll find that. See where it says add to cart, $7? If you print that, he'll go ahead and send you a copy of the rule book. He'll PDF copy of the rule book and the charts that you need. And there's only 2 charts, and there's only 2 charts. There's the charts you're going to get is, of course, the main game chart and the rare play chart. And that's it. That's the only caveat I have with him is the rare play chart. I would like more rare plays, but oh well. Yes, you do the $7. No, you don't have to do the 19. If you're just going to do the 7, if you don't do the $7, if you're doing the $7, you don't need to do the $19. No. No. If you just want everything PDF, you want everything shipped, if you want everything through email, you do not have to get the $19 set. No. Just the $7 is if you get them by PDF. So no, you do not need the $19, okay, if you're going to do it by PDF instead. So you're going to do $7 and you're going to do $18 for 2022 and $18 for 2016. They'll send you an email with the PDFs. And then what you're going to want to do is you'll just download the fringe players from 2022 and 2016 for free that are on the front page of this website and start cutting. Start cutting, and that's it. That's all you got. That's all you got to do. And yes, inside pitch stats are pretty realistic. There's, of course, always going to be outliers. Does the chart that you do the other games come with it? What other chart? Are you talking about? Are you talking about this? Are you talking about this? Out of town games? No, that's FastScore. That's FastScore. That's a totally different. It's not related. Brian Davis and Chris Davis have the same last name. They are not related, although they do know each other. But Brian Davis creates FastScore that you find on Replay Baseball's website. If you want to use FastScore like I do, you'll find that on Replay Baseball's Fast site. That's where you'll find that. That's Replay Baseball for FastScore if you want to use that for the out-of-town games. And my focus is all messed up here. There. So, I don't know why it didn't auto. I don't know why it autofocus. I should have autofocus off on that thing, but oh well. So that's a separate purchase. Yes, it's a separate purchase. FastScore is a separate purchase. You'll find that also. I also have a link to FastScore in my comments there too, John, if you want to use that as well. But that has nothing to. But FastScore has nothing to do with inside pitch. FastScore is what I use for the 10-minute ticker. Has nothing to do with inside pitch, but it's just a great way to play the out-of-town games very quickly. One roll of the dice, and you're done. And all the calculations are made for you. All you got to do is roll. All you got to do is roll. You don't have to worry about it. Well, guys, it's 2 hours, and I think it is time to hang it up. I want to thank everybody that joined me tonight for a State of the Network. It has been an honor to be with you tonight. And I will be doing some streaming for other stuff in the future. I promise I will. I'm not going to just take 2 months off and do nothing. But I am going to probably take at least a few more day break, maybe a day or two break, so the rest of the voice. But I want to thank every one of you guys for joining me tonight. Please leave a like on your way out through the turnstiles, because 1972 goes back to turnstiles. Subscribe if you've not done so, and make sure you hit the bell. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong, and we'll see you guys for some more streaming. And remember, the 1972 demo game will be either December 23rd or 24th between the Cincinnati Reds and the Oakland Athletics at Oakland Coliseum. And, of course, opening day of the 1972 inside pitch season will be January 1, New Year's Day, 2024. The Philadelphia Phillies versus the Chicago Cubs. Steve Carlton lefty against Ferguson Jenkins. So, guys, it's been great. I'm glad you're all here tonight. Thank you very much for joining me. We'll see you again next time. Have a good one.